time doesn't stop for anyone. And it happens to be the afternoon now. And I also thought that I'll be talking to you all when the Grand Republic Day Parade will be happening on Rajpath. And I am imagining the mighty marching of all the Indian Defence Forces there and the paramilitary forces while I'm talking to you. Time stops for none. Time and tide do not stop for anybody. So it's afternoon now. It's for the first time in my 19 years of tenure in Silver Oaks that I have written my speech. I've never written a speech till now because I always speak from my heart. And why did I do this? This batch, the class of 2024 that's passing out, I do not want to miss a single message that I want to give to them. Because I'm most likely to get carried away when I'm talking about something and forget the most important thing in that. That's the reason I sat at 10 o'clock last night. Until 12, I was editing and editing and editing. What should I say and what should I not say? And what should be my tonality? And finally I thought, do I put them on the paper? Do I want to read it or do I want to say it? I certainly want to take the help of the printout in front of me because I don't want to miss a single point. So all the parents patiently have been sitting since 9 o'clock almost. And your children are equally patient, although they were a little restless in between. While we all feel hungry, but for now, let's keep the hunger in the back seat, the restlessness right behind that, and pay attention to my message to my ACOs, the class of 2024. 75th Republic Day greetings, which I already gave in the morning while hoisting the flag. Yet again, I'd like to give it. While we are all sitting here today to celebrate your children's milestone of 12 or 14 years of formal education, India is celebrating 75 years of freedom, development in science, technology, economy, equality, social justice and education. I watched the glory and glitter on Rajpath in Delhi for 6 years. I lived right next to Rajpath for 6 years. I used to listen to the rehearsals of the Army or the Air Force or the Navy at 4 o'clock in the winter mornings when the visibility was 0 and the temperature was -4. But for me, when I hear my NCC cadets and my 12th and 10th graders marching in, is equally inspiring as much as it inspired me to hear the footsteps of the defense forces of our country. The President and Prime Minister of our country, along with the dignitaries and all the people who build the nation, would have sat through the entire parade for about 4 hours this morning. It would have concluded by now. While sitting there, I always used to wonder what would be going on in the mind of the President. What would be the Prime Minister thinking? Because the Republic Day Parade is about the achievements of the country so far. What did we achieve in science and technology and space? What did we achieve in social justice and equality and education? What would they be thinking? Would they be thinking that good, we got the country 75 years thus far? Who will be leading it from henceforth? Modi ji is almost 75. Okay, President is 65, closing to 70. They must be thinking, are there people in this country to lead the country as much as rigorously as they have done so far? But they do not know one thing, that there are 280 young Indians sitting in this auditorium who are almost ready to lead this country. They do not know that part. They do not know many things about these 280 young Indians. That they grew up, these young Indians grew up with the idea that me and my country, we grow together. They do not know that you helped this country grow from your pre-primary with every coin that you dropped into that pot. And they do not know that every year you donated everything that you had in surplus to make sure those who are in need have additional clothes or household items to use. What they do not also know is that you are already working towards equality and equity as defined in the preamble to the Constitution, which we are celebrating today. They also do not know that, 3,300 icons in this campus will stand in attention the moment they hear the national song and national anthem. Unlike many people in this country who still walk when the national anthem is being played. My icons stand in attention because they know that they have to respect the national anthem and the national song. So, I don't think the Prime Minister knows what wonderful young Indians are growing up and how many of them are sitting in this auditorium waiting to graduate and move into the big world out there. Most importantly, they do not know there are 280 young Indians who learned science through concepts, math through critical thinking, social through responsible lens, languages with respect, and that you learned how to appreciate art, dance, music. And they do not know what wonderful sportsmanship you people have while you're taking medals at a national level, that every day you're a fantastic sports person, knowing the worth of a win or a failure. And they do not know that you are readily graduating into this big world, but they will soon come to know. How will they come to know? Because you are going to draw the attention of the world through your achievements, through your work, through your acts of kindness and contribution. Committed to true development of India and the world. And I would like to give a big shout out to all the parents and the teachers who are in this auditorium, because without your support and guidance and mentorship, these 280 young Indians wouldn't be who they are today. So big shout out to all the parents and the teachers here. With this kind of profile that you already have, I expect you to touch the sky with glory. Touch the sky with glory. There are some people who are from the Indian Air Force in this auditorium. That's the spirit of Indian Air Force, touch the sky with glory. Having spent many years of my life as an Air Force officer's wife, this line always inspired me. Because when you want to touch the sky with glory, no one can stop you. Perhaps it's my respect for Indian Air Force that the names of all 10th grade sections have come after the Air Force squadrons. And perhaps it's my deep respect for the Indian Army that all the 9th grades are named after Army regiments. And we cannot possibly leave Indian Navy. Our 8th grade sections are named after the naval ships of Indian Navy. What about the 7th grade? The Himalayan trekker in me stood up and said, all my 7th grade sections should be named after the famous Himalayan peaks because I want all of you to grow up like the mighty Himalayas. The discipline, the valor, the integrity of our armed forces. I want all of you to grow up with that. And finally, when you come to your 11th and 12th grade, I want you to be the innovators and the ideators because the world has enough sheep. The world needs innovators and ideators. While you're growing up with all these ideals and values, the world out there is amplifying the hyper-competitive times we are living in and making you look at how do you crack an exam. Many of you must be aspiring for IIT, NIT, AIMS, NALSA, Ashoka, CREA, MIT, Yale and Harvard. But I want you to go to the best undergrad programs the world can offer. But I want you to go there not because the world expects you to go to IIT. I want you to go there because you have a purpose. You want to take best from that institution to make a difference to the world. To go there because your friends are going, or to go there because your parents are nagging you, would be a poverty of ambition. I like this phrase used by President Obama. Many years back, he gave this speech at a graduation in a university. There can't be anything worse than having a poverty of ambition. If your ambition is only to join a college because your friends are joining, or because it's going to give you certain materialistic advantage, it's a poverty of ambition. Your purpose will help you gain an ambition. Let me talk about the son of a cloth mill owner. Millions in the bank. I'm not giving his name until the end. Had millions in the bank, a fantastic family support. All he had to do was enjoy and run the mill. But he had chosen to improve the working conditions of the workers. He had chosen to bring advanced machinery to better the lives of the textile mill workers. And he had chosen to develop a state-of-art management studies in Ahmedabad. Vikram Sarabhai. We all know him as a scientist. But this scientist had multiple purposes to drive him to make a better life for himself and people around him and to the country. We know him as the father of Indian space. But we also should know him that here is a man who has a purpose to create multiple things, and that ambition made him the father of Indian space, the father of Indian management studies, and so many more things. Please find a purpose, and that purpose will drive you towards success. Material success like having a good job, house, bank, big car is important. I am not denying the importance of it. But if that is only the perceived success, that success is not worth it. Remember, while having your basic and slightly more luxurious comforts in life, you also have to have a larger purpose in life. You may earn masters in technology, science, space, business management, health sciences, and whatnot. But make sure that you are guided by the mantras you chanted for so many years. You're a doctor, have your Swadharma. You're a businessman, show your Sarvodaya. You're a computer engineer, be Swadeshi. You make sure any profession that you are in, these 5 mantras will be your pole stars. Let your success come from solving problems of the world. Hunger, poverty, illiteracy, terrorism, lack of green energy, quality medical treatment for millions of people. These are the problems we are still struggling with. Let your success, let your professional qualifications come from solving these problems. Teach and help the education, teach and give education to the less privileged. You have been doing it for the last 14 years. Your coins for the country help thousands of children in RDF and in NICE to gain education so that they have a decent livelihood. And then you have an equity in the society. You're already doing it. Continue doing that. You want to do engineering, medicine, law, management, or be an entrepreneur? Let your success come from solving the problems of the world. That's a true model of success. Begin with an end in mind. Let your competence come from your purpose. And remember, competence and not competition is what I'm talking about. Your individual competence. Sometimes a person can give you a purpose. A cancer patient, an autistic student, a poor man who has to beg for his food, or that entire village who has to walk a mile to get just drinking water. These are the people who may give you a purpose to live and purpose to have success in life. Look for these people, because that one person can make you that one great professional who can make a difference to the world. When you look at yourself in the mirror after you go back, I'm sure today, this morning when you came, you looked at yourself, how beautiful you looked, how handsome you looked. I also have to, at this point of time, have to say, I noticed that some of you were wearing your mother's saris, and I'm so proud of you for that. I noticed, I don't know if the boys are wearing their father's coats or not, but if you're wearing, I'm very proud of you for that. Because it's so easy to make the parents buy a dress, a sari, or a suit for an occasion. But it is so meaningful to say, Mommy, I want to wear your sari for my valedictory. Dad, if you have a coat that fits me, give it to me, because that makes me feel all the more safe and secure because I am graduating today. How many of you are wearing your mother's sarees? Or sisters or aunts? Big shout out to you for that. The next part, when you look at yourself in the mirror, that's why I make a note of it, because I get carried away with what I'm saying. When you looked at yourself in the mirror this morning, what did you find? Who did you find? Did you look at how you're looking, or did you look at what's happening to me in life now? Did you look at what will happen to me in life from tomorrow? There could be multiple things, but I have to tell you, all of us who are looking at you, we look at you with a different lens. We are looking at you as a promise that a school can offer to the country. I'm sure one of your juniors who looked at you must be looking at a role model in you. I'm sure some senior citizen in your neighborhood or at home must be looking at you as a lifeline. And there must be someone in that orphanage or in that RDF school who must be looking at you as a life savior. If there are multiple ways that you can look at yourself and how the world looks at you, you choose. You choose the image that you want to be and live with that. From now onwards, your acts of charity, support, care, affection, bonding will act as your personality. Be proactive and be purposeful. The daily hard work that you have to do well in your board exams, or to wake up on time, or to submit the project, the choices that you make, large and small over a lifetime, will be your profile. The timeless legacy that you will be leaving because of the choices and acts of kindness that you have made. Life is always, it should always be in a learning mode. It's like a beta. You live in a permanent beta where you're always learning. So never think that you finish your 10, done. Finish your 12, done. Undergrad done, master's done, no. Even at the age of 80, there is so much you can do that your body of work should never be paused. Don't let the glitter of your own achievements make you complacent. Now that I got a job in the US, I got a house, I got a car, I got a dog, I have a wife with lots of jewelry and a job. I have 2 kids. Don't let yourself be complacent. Make sure that you're always looking for what else you can do, because you breathe life into yourself. The world is ready to breathe it out for you. There could be so many negative influences who will say, oh, you don't need to do this anymore. But it is you who will make the decision that I want to breathe life into everything that I do. Pranayama is not just a yoga exercise. Pranayama is something that you do every day, because that's how the energy comes into you. When you lift others, you lift yourself. I love Mahatma Gandhi's quote, in the service of others, you discover yourself. In the service of others, you discover yourself. All the life skills, literacy skills, learning skills that you have been reflecting on for the last 2 years in your soul's book will be your propellers now. When you go out, your life skills will be tested because you lived a protected life in the school. In the university or in any other institution, the way the teachers are there behind you, you may not have the same protection. It is your life skills and your learning skills and your literacy skills that will propel you forward. But I want parents also to listen carefully. And of course you, because the message is to you, not to them. Okay? Understand the message from your parents or teachers. They have seen life and they have more experience than you. Earn their trust before expecting them to meet your demands. Your culture to respect, trust and appreciate, show it to your parents first and then to the rest of the world. They deserve it the most because they brought you up, they gave you birth, and they're sitting behind you on this holiday where they could have been relaxing at home. Show your culture to respect and trust and appreciate first to your parents. Trust their intuition when they tell you, don't hobnob with these kind of people. Trust their intuition because their intuition comes from their experience. We have seen life more than you did. We do see signals more than you can see. So trust them when they advise you to not befriend some kinds of people. When in a problem, take them into confidence. First, take parents into confidence because no one else can care about you than them. When you want to make a choice, articulate your reasons clearly, the way you expressed what the school has given to you and what you're going to do with that in the coming years. In the same way, articulate to your parents as to why you want to do a course, why you don't want to do a course, why you want to marry someone, or why you want to befriend someone. Articulate it very well because they're your parents. If you can't communicate to your parents, you give a speech from the White House of United States of America, it's a futile exercise. Make your parents understand your thoughts very well. Please and please, all 10th graders and 12th graders, before you make big plans for your big budget courses, I want to go to Australia, I want to go to Canada, I want to go to MIT, before you make those big plans, check with your parents about the financial situation at home. That is financial literacy. You need to know whether that loan that they can raise against insuring a property of theirs can be repaid with the salary that you get or not. And you need to check whether the course that you're going to pursue will get you a job or not. And most of all, work hard to get a merit seat. Don't look for an easy way to buy a donation seat. They also have, by the way, your parents also have only one life. You must be saying that, my one life, give me the best. They also have only one life. They also have their ambitions and wishes to drive a bigger car, but they have to cut it down because you asked for something. They have to cut down on buying something or going on a holiday because you have something. They also have only one life, just like you. So be empathetic to them and don't disrespect them when they say, we can't afford it. Because you never know, 10 to 12 years from now, you may be saying the same to your child. And the child, if he looks down at you when you say no, the hurt that you may feel is what the feeling your parents must be having now. So make sure that you don't emotionally blackmail them to buy you a seat in a university because you didn't work hard enough to get a merit seat. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. When matters of attractions and infatuations are concerned, you're at that age, attractions and infatuations. Until you're mature in your mind and in your heart, help yourself to be emotionally balanced. Because someone who is not emotionally balanced can never ever be in a good, healthy relationship. So, first know yourself. Know yourself, what is it that you want, and don't let a girl or a boy ruin you. Don't let anybody have the power to ruin your emotions and your feelings and your well-being because they said no to you. Because they didn't give attention to you or did not reply to your message. Don't give that power to anybody. Sometime back I heard an interview of Sadhguru. Somebody asked him that, do you feel bad when people don't listen to you? You know what he said? I have not given that power to anybody to make me feel bad. My feelings are under my control. And that's exactly what I'm telling you. Don't let a girl or a boy somewhere make you feel miserable because they didn't pay attention or they said no to you. You have full control over your mind and in your heart. Where distractions like drugs, drinks, and social media are concerned, use your ethical mind and not your frivolous attractions. Use your ethical mind. For 22 years, we have been consistent in our purpose, Silver Oaks International School. We are soon going to be 25 years old. That we will build character before competence has been our mission. Our director had very briefly talked about the character of the school, but I would like to give you the character profile of the school because this school will soon be your alma mater. You know what is an alma mater? A school, an institution that you got education from. If you do not know the character of the alma mater that you went through for education, what will you know then? So here I have a character profile of the school. We're a private school, but not a school that looks for profit only. We have no funds from any other sources other than the fee paid by your parents. Oh, that's the only fund that comes into the school. All that money is carefully planned, circulated between expenses, rising costs, and improving the infrastructure. School does not take commission from vendors like uniform suppliers and book suppliers. We don't do that because it feels very cheap that we ask the vendor to give you books at a different cost and take some kickbacks from that. We feel very cheap about it. We don't do that. All payments are done directly to the book supplier or to the uniform supplier because we don't want any parent or student to think that, oh, they're making money. Direct payments go to the vendors. All our vendors like books, uniforms, furniture, buses, materials, they have been constant with us for more than 15 years. Our auditor is a highly regarded, thorough professional with high integrity. He wants every paper to be black and white before accepting that the school has submitted the IT returns properly. It's not over yet. The school conserves the money of parents by charging the exact cost quoted by suppliers and conserving stationery use. A parent pays only about $350-400 per year. And within that, we want you to use the stationery required in the school. We look for conserving parents' money. And at the time of admission, if we said the fee hike annually would be 8 to 12%, we managed to keep it between 8, 9, 10% and never went beyond that. That's the high integrity and character profile of the school that you studied in. We pay for the school education of the children of our support staff. Right to education is an act passed by the Government of India. In each state of India, it is implemented differently. In Telangana, the government does not mandate upon private schools. But we took up the initiative, the school, that we will pay for the education of our drivers' children, ayahs' children, and bus cleaners' children until they complete their school education. Okay? That's another character trait of the school. We pay taxes on time. And the CIBIL rating of the school is the highest. You won't believe it that HDFC and Bank of Baroda give a pre-loan offer of minimum 10 crores because they are very assured that the school repays the loans on time. That is something in this world where people compromise on integrity of paying back loans. The school, in spite of all the expenses, make sure that is done. We don't cut quality to save costs. We never cut on quality to save costs. Salary hike for staff is at par with the best schools in the city, maybe sometimes in the country too. Staff teacher retention is the highest. Director sir already mentioned we have teachers who have been working for 20 years, 21 years, 22 years. Leela ma'am, Budevi ma'am, stand up. 20 years, 21 years have been here. Aparna ma'am, stand up. 22 years. 19 years, 18 years. Teacher retention is so high because the school respects them. It absolutely feels that these are the people who can make a difference in the school. Staff teacher retention is the highest. Students stay with us the longest. Today we have out of the 280, 140 of you have been here for more than 10 years. It speaks about consistency in our purpose. Our Live Like the Lean Way approach helps us in saving avoidable costs. Our budget on teacher training is the highest. Our budget on publicity is zero. We don't spend on publicity because why should we publicize about a school that has 280 young Indians going to make a better world? So we don't spend a penny on publicity except on the new campuses that we come up with. Our work should speak about us, not the hoardings in the city or digital ads. Now, what is the competence of your school that you studied in till now? Because tomorrow when you graduate, you should know what is your alma mater all about? If they build character and competence in me, what is the school's character and school's competence? So let me tell you the competence of the school now. Do I have your attention? Some of the 10th graders? This is your testing time, how long you can sit and listen to something. Because in the coming days, listening will be your only way to communicate with the world. So, listening will build resilience inside you. Now I'm going to talk about the competence of the school. The building and the infrastructure is competent enough to give the best education possible, whether it's sports or learning or teaching. The managing director of the school is a qualified lawyer, masters in social work and a management degree from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Most of all, he has a commitment to earn livelihood through right means. That is the first thing I would like all of you to know. Who is the person who is leading your alma mater? Now, second thing, you have a director of education with a master's in education and another master's in political science, who is an international ID trainer, workshop leader and evaluation leader, who is the chairperson of CBSE Schools Principals Association in Hyderabad, where we have 300 CBSE schools, who is also the founder of IB Heads Association in India, where there are 280 IB World Schools in India now. Your director of education traveled to 12 different countries, not on holiday but on work. As a teacher, she traveled on work to lead IB workshops or to inspect IB World Schools or to participate in global conferences or to talk in global conferences. This is a teacher talking to you, not an engineer, not a software person, not a doctor, but a teacher. She is also the author of the science math books you studied when you were in 8th grade, 7th grade, 9th grade social book. She is also the author of these books. Most of all, she is a lifelong learner. I am 60 today. Not today, this year I am 60. By all practical purposes, with the way conventional view of the world is, people would think I should retire. I have no intentions of retiring. Absolutely no intention. Because Manu's already told me that I have a long way and he wished me good health so that I can take care of the next generation that comes into the school, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I take care of my health, I take care of my diet, my social and emotional well-being, so that I'm there for every child in the school in all the campuses. And this school is supported, the competence of this school you need to know. The fantastic teachers and leaders who are sitting in the front here, each one is a lifelong learner. Everybody has a master's, but everybody is a learner. Every day they like to learn how this 18-year-old will pay attention to the math in the math class, or how that 5-year-old will learn the alphabet. Every day they are learners. And the school has the privilege of the best and most competent teachers and admin staff who are consistently trained to be exceptional professionals. That was a brief profile of your school in character and in competence. This school will be your alma mater very soon. This is the ID card you had been wearing, right? This is your identity as an acorn of Silver Oaks. The moment you finish your exams and take the TC from the school, this will be your alumni card. And this will be your identity when you enter the school. What is an alma mater? Just for your sake, I referred the dictionary, and it simply says an alma mater is a school or an educational institution where you got your education. And in some cultures, alma mater is also referred to mother goddess. I don't know whether I want to call Silver Oaks as a mother goddess or not, but I definitely would like you to think about it as the source of learning that gave you your foundational education. I stand here proudly talking about this institution called Silver Oaks because of my alumni who come back and tell me stories of their grit and determination, perseverance and resilience only because the character profile of the school empowered them. Class of 2024, you can create new direction to this world with character and competence from Silver Oaks. You got everything that an ecosystem can give you. If you can't change the world, who will? If you can't change the world, who will change the world? So we have high hopes and we have high expectations that this class of 2024 is going to make a mark of their own in the world out there, and let the world know that you are coming. Let the world know that you are coming, because I will look forward to the day, 25th January, 26th January, 29th January. These 3 days I love very dearly. On the 25th January, the President of India gives a speech about what is the vision of India for the coming year. And in Rashtrapati Bhavan, medals are given to high achievers. One day, I want a mail from you saying, "Ma'am, I'm getting a medal in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Please come with me." I will wait for that day. One day, I want to get a call from your parents saying that my daughter, my son is accredited or credited or recognized for his high achievement, and he was asked to march. He was asked to march in the Rajpath of New Delhi in the Republic Day parade, taking salute from everybody. I don't want to watch it on TV. I'll come there even if I'm 90 with a handstick. I'll come and sit there to watch you march on Rajpath. I'll wait for that day when you will lead the parade on Rajpath, as innovators, scientists, space explorers, societal architects, teachers, health experts, and soldiers of this great country. Don't just look at a corporate job. Join the Indian Army, Indian Air Force, and the Indian Navy, because that is where high integrity and discipline, which will be built in you to take care of the country. Until then, until I get a call from you or your parents, I wish to be on this planet and definitely in this great nation. Jai Hind.